WFAA-TV, Channel 8, the spirit of Texas. This is News 8 at 5:30.
Cleanup is underway in the Northeast as millions of people try to get back on track following Saturday's fierce snowstorm that dumped more than 2 feet on some areas. Good evening, I'm Michael Ray, in for Brad Hawkins. While the calendar says it is technically still fall, don't tell that to the folks pounded by the nor'easter this weekend. From Boston to New York and points in between, it already looks and feels a lot like winter. More now from ABC's Lauren Rogers.
The storm that hit much of the Northeast on Saturday was still dumping snow on parts of New England Sunday morning. In Boston, more than a foot was on the ground, leaving parts of the city nearly deserted. Travel was one of the biggest problems throughout the region, be it by air or by road. Airports in many cities continued to cancel or postpone flights, though some passengers were oblivious to it all. Drivers did their best to deal with sometimes treacherous conditions, but didn't always succeed.
The biggest problem is people are trying to come out and drive on the streets, and we can't get the streets plowed, and they get stuck, and once a car gets stuck on the road, makes it impassable for the snowplows.
Ready for some football?
At Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, they weren't going to let the snow stop the game between the Dolphins and the Patriots. Stadium workers were out for much of the night clearing the parking lot, while inside they worked through the morning to clear the field and the seats. Ordinary people also did their share of shoveling. Some complained, while others took it in stride.
It's New England, it's inevitable. It's coming whether we like it or not.
The National Weather Service issued coastal flood warnings and warned that strong winds and additional snowfall could cause power outages. Lauren Rogers, ABC News.
Things heated up at Dallas City Hall this afternoon, where a primarily Hispanic audience gathered for a March for Justice rally. Hundreds are calling attention to what they say is unfair treatment by Dallas police. The protest comes in the wake of developments in the fake drug scandal. Despite the fact that the city and county have named panels to investigate, many of those gathered say it's too late.
I don't feel so that it's going to be like better. I think they're just trying to make us be quiet.
Tonight at 10, more on what the League of United Latin American Citizens wants the government to do in its search for justice. The end of the school year will bring the Masonic Home and School of Texas closer to its end. Declining enrollment and revenues are forcing Masonic leaders to close the Fort Worth facility at the end of next year. The school has provided shelter and schooling for displaced children since 1989. It also pays for health care and clothing for the children ages 4 to 18. A legendary Dallas newsman has lost his battle with cancer. Lewis Harris passed away Thursday at his home in Mesquite. During his 40 years as a journalist, Lou served as a city editor and investigative reporter with the Dallas Morning News. He became a legend for his talent, which he shared as a mentor to other North Texas journalists. Lou Harris was 78. Overseas, an American soldier is dead and 2 others hurt after a military patrol came under attack in Mosul, Iraq. The U.S. military says guerrillas set off a roadside bomb as an American convoy passed through the city, and 4 suspected terrorists were arrested this morning by U.S. soldiers during a raid. The men were said to be concealing weapons and planning to attack coalition forces. Today marks 62 years since the infamous bombing of Pearl Harbor. Almost 2,400 people died when Japanese forces launched a surprise attack on the American Pacific Fleet in 1941, sending the U.S. into World War II. Ceremonies are being held all over the nation today to honor survivors and the servicemen and women who died in that attack. Close to home, there were also ceremonies in remembrance of Pearl Harbor. In Louisville, one survivor of the attack says he will never forget Sunday morning, December 7th, 1941. Channel 8's John Pronk has his story.
The bomb went through the barracks.
Milroy Richardson doesn't need December 7th to appear on the calendar for him to remember Pearl Harbor. He was there, a young soldier on KP that Sunday morning when the surprise attack came.
When the first plane come over, why, one of the cooks says, "Hot damn," he said, "that's a Japanese plane." He said, "This is war." And I looked up and here come the bomb. And when it blew, why, it picked me up and just slammed me against the concrete wall. Well, it ruptured my eardrums. I had a slight concussion, and that was it.
He and Viola had only been married 5 days when he was sent off to Hawaii.
I just hoped and prayed that he was okay, but he promised me he'd be back. So I kind of went by that.
Over 50 years ago this morning, the sky over Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, was filled with Japanese planes. 1,178 Americans lay wounded, and 2,403 lay dead or dying.
This December 7th, they hold a memorial service at Louisville City Hall. It begins at 7:30 a.m., the time of the initial attack. As part of the ceremony, they unveil a veteran's memorial marker. And 2 vintage World War II warbirds in Japanese colors do a flyover, bringing back all sorts of feelings to this Pearl Harbor survivor.
That brings it back. I'll tell you, it brings it back. That's just what they sound like, you know? You ought to hear one in a dive and you'll never forget it.
Milroy spent 23 years in the Air Force and was awarded 2 Purple Hearts and many other medals for his service.
I lost some good friends over there on December 7th. Some people pay a bigger price than other people. And God bless those that did.
John Pronk, Channel 8 News, Louisville.
It radically reduces weight, but is it for everybody? Ahead, we'll look at a popular but risky surgery for the obese. Fort Worth dogs will have room to roam, but not everybody thinks that's a good idea. And could the Cowboys get out of frigid Philadelphia with a win? Game highlights just ahead.
Well, it was a windy and mild day here in North Texas. Temperatures climbing into the 60s, but storm system to our west has moved our way. Some of us will be getting wet. We'll have the details coming up.
Live captioning of News 8 is sponsored by your local Lincoln Mercury dealers.
The season's best. Experience the magic at your Cadillac dealer today. Breakthrough.
They call this a job, man. You must be kidding. It's a game, kid. I get paid to play for a living. Do what you want to do. Do it well. Have fun. Life too short. Never to be number one. I'm loving it.
The Mavericks are back, and so is McRib at McDonald's. With juicy pork, tangy barbecue sauce, onions, and pickles. Make it an extra value meal with fries and a drink. Or supersize it. Make it a Mavs meal with a Mavericks Michael Finley cup.
Can you hear it? Let me turn it up for you. I'm loving it.
A brand new day dawned, and you didn't even have to think about it. Nature takes care of that, just like the bread from Nature's Own. All the 100% natural goodness you need, and the good taste you want. And you don't even have to think about it. Nature's Own takes care of that every day. Nature's Own. Our name says it all.
Giving a gift from Jared can cause quite a stir.
Hey, everyone! He went to Jared.
He went to Jared.
He went to Jared.
You went to Jared.
You went to Jared.
Not every jewelry store gets this reaction, but nothing else is Jared. Jared's selection is truly extensive, built piece by piece to offer distinctiveness, attractive pricing, and style.
I went to Jared.
That's Jared, the one and only Galleria of Jewelry.
He went to Jared.
For Americans who are extremely obese, gastric bypass surgery promises what may seem unattainable, control of their weight. But in a major surgery that reduces a stomach to the size of an egg, there are some serious risks and possible complications. Elizabeth Cohen takes a look at the popularity and pitfalls of gastric bypass.
We've seen them all on TV. Carney Wilson, Al Roker, Roseanne Barr. They once were large and now they're not, thanks to what seems to be all the rage these days, gastric bypass surgery. So is this the easy fix for the millions of Americans who are morbidly obese? 2 new studies show us that gastric bypass surgery can be a dangerous procedure. According to one done at the University of Washington, 1 out of every 50 patients will die within the first 30 days following surgery. And early death from surgical complications is directly linked to how experienced your surgeon is. Another study, released this week, this one from the University Hospitals of Cleveland, says gastric bypass surgery is riskiest for the most obese, those, of course, who need it the most. Still, 98% of patients who undergo these procedures do survive, so why not do it? For one, anyone considering this surgery has to realize that their lives will change dramatically.
Essentially, they'll never have a normal meal again.
That's because your stomach is essentially reduced to the size of an egg. According to the Centers for Disease Control, 30% of American adults over the age of 20 are obese. That's nearly 60 million people. So with more obese Americans means more surgeries and a greater chance for more complications.
There are many elements of gastric bypass surgery that are the conditions of a perfect storm, if you will, for adverse outcomes. Increased commercial demand, increased surgeon interest, and increased patient interest.
Bariatric surgery has become big business, with more and more surgeons wanting to get in on the act. According to the American Bariatric Association, 63,000 people had the surgery last year. This year, that number is expected to climb to 100,000. Elizabeth Cohen, CNN, Atlanta.
The flu outbreak is taking its toll on emergency rooms at North Texas hospitals. The ER at Presbyterian Hospital of Plano issued a red divert for a short time this morning, meaning it had no room left to take in patients. Coming up tonight at 10, Steve Stoller will show us how the hospitals are coping with a shortage in space. Donations will help a Hutchins bird sanctuary burglarized this weekend. Someone broke into the Rogers Wildlife Rehabilitation Center, stealing thousands of dollars in tools and equipment. But a small utility trailer is being donated to the sanctuary, and other donations are on the way. Investigators say it doesn't appear the thieves spent much time in the center, but they knew what they were looking for, taking the most expensive items they could find.
Of our trailers that we use for hauling feed and supplies, hay, that sort of thing, all of our hand tools, saws, generator, mowers, our wheelbarrows, everything.
The director suspects it may have been an inside job. The center's $80,000 a year budget comes from donations. Dog owners in the city of Fort Worth will finally have a place of their own. This week, city council members approved an $88,000 project to build a dog park. Dog lovers say it's a major victory for their canine friends, but opponents say it's a waste of money. Channel 8's Melissa Tamplin has more.
On a sunny Sunday afternoon, there's one thing dog owners are looking for: a place to let their pooches run free.
When I moved to Fort Worth, that was one of the main things I found missing.
Melissa Cahoot moved from L.A. 5 years ago. Since then, she's been searching for a place to let her dog Wanda play without a leash.
You're at the park. Good girl.
It's important because there are a lot of dog owners in Fort Worth. There's over 240,000 dogs.
Randall Harwood has been working with dog owners to create Tarrant County's first dog park. The concept is already a big hit in cities like Dallas and Austin, where people can bring their pets to socialize in a leash-free environment.
It's incredibly important to a city like Fort Worth that values the quality of life, and this is just one aspect where dog owners and dogs can come together and recreate at a park that has adequate land and space for them.
The $88,000 project will be constructed on 5 acres of land in Gateway Park. A petition with more than 600 signatures convinced 7 out of 8 city council members to support the initiative.
I don't think it's right.
Chuck Silcox was the one council member to vote against the park. He says it has nothing to do with his feelings towards dogs, but he believes the money should be spent elsewhere.
When we can't give people playground equipment and lighting in parks and so forth, I don't think that was a right thing to do.
Park supporters say they hope to raise as much money as possible through donations. The council's latest vote gives them the go-ahead to move forward, and they say all dog lovers can expect Fort Wolf 1 to open at the 1st of March. Melissa Tamplin, Channel 8 News, Fort Worth.
Steve joins us now. Were you out with your dogs this morning?
Well, not this morning, this afternoon. Kind of left them running around out there in the backyard. It was a nice day. Temperature got into the 60s, and it looks like we're pressing near 70 for tomorrow, and then Old Man Winter is coming back to North Texas. We'll have it all for you when we come back.
All next week, Good Morning America's got everything you need to make your holidays the merriest ever. The fashions, the decorations, the hottest gifts. All at prices that won't break your bank. And oh, the food. Come deck the halls with Good Morning America next week.
I'm News 8's Troy Dungan. When you want the latest weather forecast, turn to the power of partners. News 8 weather on the radio. News Talk 820, WBAP.
For all your local conditions and breaking weather reports, trust News 8 weather on News Talk 820, WBAP.
Save up to 80% by buying Factory Direct. The Jewelry Exchange imports their diamonds direct from site holders and manufactures their jewelry direct. The Jewelry Exchange has thousands of diamonds, mountings, bracelets, pendants, and earrings, and guarantees the lowest price. The Jewelry Exchange's 1-carat platinum bands are $1,400. 1-carat 3-stone bracelets are $249. Diamond studs are $199, and 3-stone pendants are $99. You can't beat our deals. Buy Factory Direct and save. The Jewelry Exchange in Dallas.
If you really want to catch Santa in your living room, give him something to watch.
This week at Ultimate Electronics, stop in during our store-wide sale and save on virtually everything in the store. Plus, get 18-month, no-interest financing. Ultimate Electronics. Experience more without paying more.
This woman did a smart thing. She went to the 25th annual Toyotathon, the year's biggest sales event. So did he. They came for the best selection and great year-end values. See your North Texas Toyota dealer right now and get $1,000 cash back on any 04 Corolla. Or take the financing and get 0 APR. Or lease an 04 Corolla CE for just $169 a month for 48 months with 0 due at signing. Come on, get to the 25th annual Toyotathon. Wouldn't you look smart in a new Toyota?
Critics have called it strikingly original, a timeless masterpiece, and breathtaking. You will call it sensational. Trans-Siberian Orchestra's Christmas Eve and Other Stories Live.
Saturday, December 13th at Next Stage at Grand Prairie.
An evening of the most stirring and powerful blend of rock and classical music ever heard.
Tickets are on sale now at all Ticketmaster outlets. Charge by phone or online.
CDs and DVD available now at Amazon.com.
Well, it was a close call with a freeze this morning here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but a lot of sunshine, a brisk southerly wind got us into the 60s this afternoon. Looks like those south winds will be back for tomorrow, getting us close to 70 for your Monday. Right now, though, we have basically fair skies, a pleasant evening in progress. Winds are coming down just a little bit from earlier today. We have slipped back into the 50s, 59 with our dew point of 32. That puts our humidity now at 36%. Pressure still falling. Winds are out of the south at 16, gusting up to 25 miles per hour. Obviously, no precipitation today. But we promised you 34 and 61, 33 and 61, the official numbers for today. Look at this record. This is the third day in a row. We had to go back to 1950 to find the record low. 10. Brutally cold back in 1950, but it has been as warm as 83 in 1922, and it has been a pretty day. Just a couple little patches of high-level clouds drifting from west to east across our skies this afternoon. It looks like mostly clear for us tonight. Temperatures in the 50s and one lone 60, 61 degrees now in Addison. Looks like Greenville, one of the cooler spots at 55, while it's holding on to 59, both in Dallas and Fort Worth. Look at that, Vernon at 70 degrees along the Red River, 65 in Wichita Falls, 67 in Abilene, and we have slipped back into the 50s here in East Texas. Middle 40s to the east to near 50 here in the metro for tonight, so not nearly as cold. Nobody freezes tonight. South winds 10 to 20 and gusty, picking up again tomorrow, 15 to 25. And occasionally over 30 miles per hour. But look at these numbers for your Monday. Middle 60s to the northeast, mid 70s as you head to the west. Will be about 70 to 71 here in Fort Worth and Dallas. Snowstorm continues to rage across the northeast and parts of New England. There's a big old whirl out here just off the coast of Maine. Blizzard conditions continue for New England, at least the northern parts. Here comes our weather maker, though. There's a cold front and a lot of energy behind it. Both of these are going to be sweeping into North Texas late tomorrow night into Tuesday, giving us that chance of rain. As we've been telling you, Dallas-Fort Worth are right on the fringe of the rain area. The further east you go, your better chances of getting drenched. I mean, we're talking 1 inch plus rains once you get east of a line from, say, Bonham to Terrell to Corsicana. We are behind that line, so yeah, we'll probably get a brief shower Tuesday morning, pre-dawn hours, and then that's just about it for us. But you folks in East Texas, get ready. Big storms are headed your way. Right now, 71 in Amarillo, 75 degrees. Out in Midland, they were close to 80 degrees this afternoon, even warmer than Houston right now at 58 degrees. But again, nobody freezes tonight across the state with those brisk southerly winds. And then for tomorrow, we're really going to kick up the winds and kick up the temperatures. 70s, close to 80 degrees down the valley, but already getting colder up here in the Texas Panhandle. Okay, watch this very carefully as this low-pressure trough intensifies. It causes our winds to really pick up out of the south. But here comes the cold front colliding with the trough that eventually evolves into a dry line. And right there where the cold front and dry line come together, that's where the air is being shoved straight up. So by tomorrow night, after midnight, we're going to start to see the first signs of the showers to our west. But watch what happens as it goes to the east. Hits those big dew points. There's your solid line of powerful thunderstorms from East Texas all the way into the Mississippi Valley. We clear out quickly. Strong north winds. Temperatures fall throughout the day on your Tuesday. Here's your numbers. 50 degrees for us tonight. 70 for tomorrow. 58 for tomorrow night. A brief shower, then turning windy, falling into the 40s throughout the day. Almost to freeze by Tuesday night and Wednesday, and then it just dries out and seasonally cool for the rest of the week. So enjoy your 70 tomorrow. There's a little bit of winter coming back with those temperatures, but just a little bit of rain Tuesday morning.
Not the best news for those suffering with that flu.
Yeah.
Not good stuff. Thanks, Steve. Police are asking for the public's help in their investigation into the murder of a woman who was killed while driving home from work. We get more details in tonight's Crime Stoppers.
Shortly after 10 p.m. on Monday, August 26, 2002, Garland police officers were dispatched to what was believed to be a traffic accident on LBJ at the La Prada exit ramp. What they found was much worse.
Apparently, Mrs. Sparza was driving southbound on LBJ on her way home from work. She took this exit, the La Prada exit, and we believe that after she took the exit, someone fired shots and she was hit and her vehicle left the roadway somewhere in this area and came to rest in a gully close to La Prada Road.
Upon arrival, officers found 36-year-old Maria Esparza shot to death behind the wheel of her white 1990 Toyota Camry.
At the time of the shooting, traffic was heavy on LBJ and multiple shots were fired. Mrs. Esparza was a widowed mother of 3 children and had only been in this country for 9 to 10 months.
Crime Stoppers is offering up to $1,000 for information leading to an arrest and indictment in the murder of Maria Esparza. If you have information about this or any other felony crime, call 214-373-TIP. That's 214-373-8477. All callers are kept anonymous. For Crime Stoppers, I'm Garland Police Chief Mitch Bates.
Well, the Cowboys travel to Philadelphia today for an NFC East battle with the Eagles, who are looking for their 8th straight win. Donovan McNabb was the league's worst-rated passer after the first 6 games of the season, but he has returned to that Pro Bowl form. McNabb threw 3 touchdowns this afternoon. That one was a 16-yard strike to Bryant Westbrook. No, Bill did not care for it. The game was tied at 10 at halftime, but the Cowboys' offense struggled in the second half after starting out 5-1. The Cowboys have now just won 3 of their last 7 games. They lose to the Eagles today, 36-10. Of course, much more on the game, plus highlights from today's other big sports matchups. That's all tonight on Sports Special, right after the News 8 update. Well, The Bachelorette is now a missus. The latest on Trista and Ryan up next. Plus, Tom Cruise is back on top with his new movie, The Last Samurai. We'll have Gary Cogill's review. Stay with us.
Dallas Children's Theater presents A Story of Courage in Hans Brinker or The Silver Skates, December 4th through December 21st at El Centro Theater in the spirit of Texas.
Are you ready for TV? Your way. Your sports and family. Your comedy, fashion and food. History and travel. Your movies, music, and news. It's digital cable from Comcast. It's TV on your terms. And right now, get over 200 channels installed for free. So call Comcast today and get the package that's right for you. Just call 1-800-COMCAST.
At Papa John's, we believe you can't get too much of a good thing. So we've loaded on the works. More imported olives, more baby portobello mushrooms, more fresh sliced green peppers and onions, more ham, more thick sliced pepperoni, and plenty of Italian sausage. Papa John's New Works Pizza. More toppings all the way to the edge. You expect the best. We deliver.
Order the family special now for just $17.99. That's a large Works pizza and a large 2-topping pizza for just $17.99.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
This year, get everything on your wish list. Announcing the Lincoln Mercury Wish List year-end event with savings on every Lincoln and Mercury, including Lincoln Navigator, the mid-size Lincoln Aviator, and Mercury Mountaineer. Now get a no-charge DVD entertainment system plus $2,000 cash back on every Lincoln and Mercury SUV. And see the all-new Mercury Monterey, our safest minivan ever, during the Wish List year-end event. See your Lincoln Mercury dealer today.
Well, the Bachelorette is finally a bride. According to published reports, Trista Red and Ryan Sutter, who were introduced on the ABC matchmaking show, have exchanged vows. The ceremony was held at a resort near Palm Springs, California, and it will be aired Wednesday night right here on Channel 8. The network picked up the $1 million tab for their wedding. Wedding bells may soon be ringing for actress Gwenyth Paltrow and her musician boyfriend Chris Martin. The couple has reportedly applied for a marriage license in Santa Barbara County. Just days ago, Paltrow announced that she and Martin are expecting their first child. Kimono-clad Tom Cruise made the cut at the box office this weekend. The actor's new epic, The Last Samurai, earned just over $24 million to take the top spot. While the film is good, Channel 8 movie critic Gary Cogill says Samurai is rarely great.
The Last Samurai is a beautiful spectacle 1 minute, uneven and heavy-handed the next. Tom Cruise gives another strong performance as a disillusioned Civil War hero, hired by the Emperor of Japan to upgrade his army. And during their first battle, he's captured by the enemy, a samurai warrior named Matsumoto, played well by Ken Watanabe.
What is your name?
Tom Cruise spends the winter as a captive learning the way of the samurai, and it changes his life. He eventually embraces the culture, lives with a family, and the result is a beautiful, gentle, emotional transition.
Clyde.
The Last Samurai is directed by Ed Zwick. He directed Legends of the Fall and the much better Civil War epic Glory. He's a passionate filmmaker. But in The Last Samurai, you always feel like you're watching a self-important movie with a big-name star. And don't get me wrong, The Last Samurai is a good film, but rarely great, and it runs 2.5 hours. Yes, the battle sequences are violent, but there's something slightly missing from the heart and the soul of this film.
Take away the advantage of their guns. They're overconfident when you use that. Lure them close. Close enough for a sword.
Gary Cogill, Channel 8 News.
Jessica Alba's new hip-hop dance drama opened at #2 this weekend. For more on that film and other movie reviews by Gary, you can go to WFAA.com and click on Gary Cogill's Movies. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. We'll see you back here at 10 o'clock tonight.